Some secrets are hidden for years, not because they are forgotten, but because the truth is too dangerous to uncover. And in episode 10 of the Testaments, one small honey jar may have changed everything. What looked like a simple object suddenly became the center of the entire ending. But the real shock was not the jar itself. It was what it connected together. June's daughters, their past, their future, and maybe even the downfall of Gilead. The final scene left fans speechless because it quietly revealed that June may have been planning this moment for years. Every word, every look, every hidden detail in that room carried meaning. And once you notice those clues, the ending becomes far more emotional and terrifying than it first appeared. The final moments of episode 10 begin in complete silence. There is no loud music, no dramatic speech, and no action scene. Instead, the episode slows down and forces the audience to focus on tiny details. Hannah stands frozen as she stares at the honey jar sitting on the table. At first, it feels like an ordinary family item, something simple and harmless, but the camera refuses to move away from it. That alone tells viewers that the jar matters more than anyone realizes. Nicole notices it too, but her reaction is different. She looks confused at first, then emotional, almost as if she recognizes something connected to her childhood. This moment becomes extremely important because it is the first time both sisters react to the same memory in completely different ways. Hannah sees fear and mystery. Nicole sees connection and truth. The episode carefully shows that June's presence still controls the story even when she is not physically there. Every choice her daughters make feels connected to something June prepared long ago. The honey jar becomes proof of that. Fans quickly noticed the small handwritten mark attached near the lid. The writing was almost impossible to see unless viewers paid close attention. That hidden detail immediately started theories online because it looked intentional. Some believe June left a coded message for her daughters. Others think it connects to the May Day resistance. But the most emotional theory is that June wanted Hannah and Nicole to finally understand each other through this object. The honey jar is not valuable because of what is inside it. It is valuable because of what it represents: memory, survival, family. What makes the ending even stronger is the way Hannah reacts after touching the jar. For a second, her entire expression changes. Throughout the season, Hannah has struggled to hide her emotions. Growing up inside Gilead taught her to suppress fear and obey authority. But in this scene, those walls begin to crack. She suddenly looks less like a loyal child of Gilead and more like June's daughter. That transformation matters because it shows the beginning of Hannah waking up emotionally. The writers do not explain this directly. Instead, they let the audience notice it naturally through her silence and body language. That quiet storytelling is what makes the ending feel so powerful. Nicole's role in the scene is equally important. Unlike Hannah, Nicole grew up outside Gilead. She understands freedom differently, but she also carries guilt because she escaped while Hannah remained trapped. Episode 10 finally brings those emotions to the surface. When Nicole looks at Hannah during the ending scene, there is sadness in her eyes, but also hope. For the first time, it feels like the sisters are beginning to trust one another. They do not need long conversations to explain their connection. The silence between them says enough. The honey jar acts like a bridge between two completely different lives. One sister remembers fear, the other remembers freedom. And June exists in the middle of both memories. Another important detail many viewers missed was the lighting during the final scene. Almost the entire room is dark, except for the warm golden light surrounding the honey jar. That was not accidental. Honey itself represents preservation because real honey can survive for years without spoiling. The writers clearly used this symbol to represent June's mission surviving through her daughters. Even after years of pain, separation, and control, June's influence remains alive. The truth was preserved just like the honey. That symbolism becomes even deeper when viewers remember how often bees are connected to female strength and unity. The ending quietly suggests that women working together may finally become the thing that destroys Gilead from within. The final shot of the episode leaves fans with one huge question. What exactly is hidden inside the honey jar? The show never gives a direct answer, and that mystery is intentional. Some viewers believe it contains names of resistance members. Others think it hides coordinates or escape plans. But there is another theory that feels even more heartbreaking. What if the jar contains personal memories from June herself? Letters, messages, pieces of the past that Hannah was never allowed to know. If that theory is true, then the honey jar is not just evidence against Gilead. It is proof that June never stopped fighting for her daughters, even when they were separated by an entire system designed to erase family bonds. By ending the episode this way, The Testaments proves that its biggest weapon is emotional storytelling, not action. The show understands that quiet moments can hit harder than violence. One small object sitting on a table created more tension than an entire battle scene. And that is exactly why fans cannot stop talking about episode 10. The honey jar changed everything. It connected June's past to her daughter's future. It hinted that Gilead's secrets are finally beginning to break apart. And most importantly, it reminded viewers that even in the darkest systems, love and memory can survive longer than fear. The biggest reason episode 10 shocked viewers was because the honey jar suddenly stopped feeling like a symbol and started feeling like a weapon. Until this moment, many fans believed June's fight against Gilead was mostly emotional. They thought her legacy would live through memories, stories, and the bond between her daughters. But this episode quietly hints that June may have built something far more dangerous behind the scenes. The moment Nicole carefully opens the jar, the tension changes completely. The scene becomes less about family and more about hidden truth. The writers intentionally slow everything down to make viewers focus on every movement. Hannah watches nervously while Nicole examines the inside of the lid, almost as if she expects to find something hidden there. That detail matters because it suggests Nicole already knew the jar was important before she even touched it. What makes this scene so powerful is the possibility that June planned this years in advance. Throughout both The Handmaid's Tale and The Testaments, June has always used ordinary objects to carry secret meaning. Small items became survival tools because Gilead constantly monitored direct communication. That is why fans immediately connected the honey jar to the resistance movement. In a world where letters could get people killed and conversations were watched carefully, something harmless like a food jar would become the perfect hiding place. Nobody would question it. Nobody would suspect it. And that is exactly what makes June's possible plan so brilliant. She turned something soft and comforting into a hidden container for rebellion. One detail viewers noticed was the strange scratching sound when Nicole lifted the bottom layer inside the jar. The camera focused on Hannah's face right after that sound happened. Her fear instantly grew stronger, almost like she understood the danger before the audience did. Then the episode cuts briefly to the old flashbacks of June teaching Nicole simple childhood phrases. At first, those flashbacks seemed random. But after the ending, many fans realized those moments may have been clues hidden throughout the season. June may have trained Nicole to recognize codes without fully understanding why. That possibility completely changes the emotional meaning of the story because it suggests June never stopped preparing her daughters for the future, even during moments that looked innocent. Another reason the honey jar theory feels believable is because of Aunt Lydia's strange behavior earlier in the episode. She repeatedly avoided discussing old resistance operations and seemed nervous whenever June's name was mentioned. At one point, she even stared at the jar before quickly looking away. The scene lasted only a few seconds, but now it feels extremely important. Many viewers believe Aunt Lydia knows exactly what the jar contains. She may not know every detail, but she clearly understands that it threatens powerful people inside Gilead. This would explain why several commanders suddenly became desperate near the end of the episode. Their fear no longer feels political. It feels personal. They are afraid that secrets buried for years are about to surface. The idea that the honey jar contains names is one of the strongest fan theories right now. If June collected information about commanders, resistance allies, missing children, or underground escape routes, then the jar could destroy entire parts of Gilead's leadership system. And if Hannah and Nicole gain access to that information together, it would unite the sisters in a dangerous mission. That possibility explains why the ending focused so heavily on trust. The show is preparing viewers for a future where both daughters must rely on each other to survive. Hannah understands Gilead from the inside. Nicole understands the outside world. Separately, they are vulnerable. Together, they become powerful.